Hi, welcome back for this third and last video of the gamepad tutorial. Today will be a very short video. I'll try to do as quick as possible in the next videos, so I'll try to save a little bit of your time because in the past I've been very long. So let's see straight away what we're going to do today. Basically, we have here one input. We need to decide the input for the player. Basically, we ask to press enter to change the file input for the spaceship. Okay, let's press enter. Let's click on the window first, press enter, and now I can use any gamepad button to use as a fire. In this case, I'm going to press B and then recognize button number 1 as a fire. So if I press button B on the gamepad, now it's shooting. Of course, it doesn't do with the other buttons. As we say in the previous video, a button start to count from 0. If you have a Xbox controller or similar like my Logitech, A is button number 0, B is button number 1, and so on. If you have a PlayStation, of course you don't have A and B, X and Y, but the layout setting will be still the same. That's why anyway we get as a result the numbers 0, 1 and so on, but not the letters or specific name. So anyway, aside for this, let's go to have a look at the code. And of course, sorry, if I press enter again, I can change the button. In this case, I'm going to press right trigger, and now it's button number 7. I use number the right trigger to shoot in this case. So quite simple code, works well. So this code is very short and simple because I make it easier for you to understand. Of course, it can be more complicated. I have made a tutorial for this, a template for this. It's on sale on some website. You can see the link in the description. On the tutorial, we're going to talk about the tutorial in a couple minutes. Let's have a look at this code first. Okay, we start with include the kerning. This is just for the text, so don't worry about this. We have two variables. The first one is the input status. Basically, we have two status, 0 done. Basically means we are not going to change the input. A 1 listening. We are waiting for the player to press any button to record this button as an input. Then we have the fire button. In this case, because we are going to use only the fire as an action, but of course you can have more variables for all the kind of action that the player can do, like a jump, moving, and so on. So in this case, we start with -1 as a value. This because again the buttons start to be count from 0, so therefore -1 means no button can get any input, can give any input to the game. Basically we start with input status 0, and therefore if we press enter and the input status equals 0, then we change our text and we say press any gamepad button to be used as fire. And in that case, the input status changed to 1, that is listening. So basically, we are waiting for the input of the player. So here, every tick, when the input status is 1, we are just waiting for the player to do something. And on gamepad 0, that in this case is the first gamepad connected to the computer, any button is pressed, so that doesn't matter which button. Then we set the variable fire button to record the value of the gamepad.last button 0 on the brackets. Again, this is gamepad number 0. If you have for the second player gamepad, the second gamepad will be number 1 here in the brackets. So basically, the button that will be pressed will be recognized, and the value of this button is recorded on this variable. We change the text, and they are going to inform the player which button number has been used, button number and the value of the fire button we just assign, and we change back the input status to 0 done. Basically we are not going to change the input anymore. If the input status equals 0, basically we are not changing the input. If we press the button on the gamepad 0 that is equivalent to the variable fire button, then we spawn the laser, and that's it. That's very simple. Again, this is very basic code just to let you understand the mechanics. You can do more complicated things. The keyboard works in a similar way, so you can have a look at the keyboard. About my template, with my template you can use input from a gamepad, of course also joystick, keyboard and mouse at the same time. That means that basically to control to give access to one player to all these three input, you can mix them as you want. So for example, you can shoot with the mouse, then you can move around with the keyboard, and then maybe with the gamepad you can do some other actions, for example. So you can combine as you want, or as the player want. This is good if you follow me on the social media, because I discuss about accessibility. So if you want to give more chance to player to play your game in case they have permanent or temporarily problems, that's good to have. And therefore I suggest you that if you are not able to do all by yourself, you don't want to spend a lot of time in creating this code, have a look at the template. It's not expensive, and I'm sure it saves a lot of time for you, and your player will appreciate it. Okay, so I said the video will be short, so I try to be as short as possible. I say again, as usual, if you like the video, please like it, share it around, and subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell if you want to get notification. Also, special thanks to everyone that supports me on Patreon. If you want to join me on Patreon, you are very welcome. See you again for the next series of video, and good luck with your development. Bye.